Well, my name is Bradford Pelton. I'm a personal injury attorney. I've been working in Colorado Springs in that area of the law since 1978. My dad was my partner for the first 22 years of my practice, and I guess you could say that we're a family-oriented practice. When somebody gets hurt in an automobile accident, their entire family gets involved, including family members that don't live with them. And so it's more of a family injury than it is a personal injury. And it does take a kind of a family approach to get it figured out, to do the work that's required, and to get the result that they deserve. And like I say, I've been doing this for 37 years, and I don't know if I'm any good at it or not, but I'm certainly used to it. Got an awful lot of experience doing it, and I actually like doing it. The people that work for me inspire me. They're committed to excellence themselves, and just in general makes it a lot better situation to have people who work with you that do care about the outcome themselves. And I would say that more than anything else that sets me apart from my experience is the quality of the people who work with me. Well, for one thing, in general, I work for a lot of bosses, but at the same time, I'm my own boss. And I get to make the decisions based on what's best for my clients. And I actually like helping people. And I'm able to help people in this area of the law, workers' compensation and personal injury. Well, I like to travel. I like music. I like sports. But hobbies, no, I wouldn't say I have any particular hobbies. But I do have a life outside of the office. I'm married and I got two beautiful children. And they certainly take up most of my free time. Well, you want to have people return your phone call. You want to have people on the other end who know what they're doing, which isn't always the case. Although, in fairness to the insurance companies, they usually train their people very well, and they have access to an awful lot of background information that I don't have. The process is designed to be a level playing field, but the reality is it's not level at all, and almost everything we do is uphill. Well, I certainly think that the documentary is conclusive proof that however easy or simple it looks, it's not. I've certainly heard it before that, well, my friend had a hangnail and he got $500,000. And I always respond, well, did you see the check? And the answer is no, they didn't. So there's an awful lot of not information that's out there. And boy, whatever you think it's not like that at all. The best way to think about it is that it's cyclical, that it's the same today as it was 5,000 years ago. Sargon of Akkad and Hammurabi, in their codes, the first rule of law was an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and a life for a life. 5,000 years later, we're talking about the value of an eye for an eye, the value of a tooth for a tooth, and the value of a life for a life. The words are different, but there's not a thing about it that has changed in those 5,000 years. Still human beings trying to adjust or compensate or settle their differences between themselves. My dad, when I came down here, said, "There's more opportunity getting away today than when I came into the business. And I said, well, how can that be true? After 37 years of practice, I can tell you that there's more business getting away today than there was when I started practice myself. And so what you want to be able to do, I think, is to ignore the idea that there's competition, because there really isn't. There is the opportunity to work, and that the money will follow the service. You want to put the service ahead of making money first, because if you don't like what you do, you're going to have to do anyway. So you better like what you're doing. And that's what I want to be able to tell anybody in any business. My favorite story about this business, my dad was in World War II, and he was on kitchen duty, KP, and the sergeant comes in and says, Pelton, I've got a job for you. My dad said, well, okay. And he took him into a big warehouse when there's this big pile of potatoes, really big pile of potatoes. And the top kick told him, he said, well, I want the big potatoes over here and the little potatoes over there. And my dad said, wow, that sounds like a pretty simple job. I think I can do that. He said, that worked out pretty good until I came across a pretty good sized small potato. And that's basically what we do here at the office, is those that are small cases get treated that way, and those that are large cases get treated that way. It's that tweener, which I seem to see an awful lot of, a pretty good sized small potato. And it's hard to figure out which pile it belongs in. But if you take your time and do the work, it basically takes care of itself. And that's a great little story on big potatoes and little potatoes.